What's good, Mitten fam? It's your boy Meech from the Mitten, and we are back with another one. Now, I was scrolling through again, like always, because I am a YouTube consumer just like you, and found this one. It was like, yeah, I gotta show the family. I gotta show the Mitten fam. So we gonna jump into the true story of The Conjuring. It's even creepier than the movie. We gonna jump in and see what it's talking about. So grab your blanket. You feel me? If you got a little comfort blanket, because I know some of y'all get a little scared. It's okay. I'm here to watch it with you. Grab your little blanket if you're grabbing that. Grab your popcorn, your chips, your little juice. Whatever your water. You gotta drink your water. Grab whatever you gonna grab. We're gonna jump into the movie. I mean, into the video. Let's get it.
Lots of horror films say they're based on a true story to get in an extra scare. But those claims rarely add up to anything more than a disclaimer on a movie poster. One family, however, claimed that in the 1970s, they lived the tale told in James Wan's 2013 film, The Conjuring. Family members were thrown out of their beds, kissed by ghosts in the night, and preyed upon by the spirit of a witch. So, today, we're going to take a deep dive into how the true story behind The Conjuring is even creepier than the movie. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel. After that, leave us a comment and let us know what other ghoulish topics you would like to hear about. Okay, time to conjure up some spooky history. In 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perrin, along with their 5 daughters, April, Cindy, Christine, Nancy, and Andrea, moved into their new house, located in Harrisville, Rhode Island. If you've seen The Conjuring, you already have an idea of where this is going. But the most curious thing that happened to them didn't have anything to do with ghosts. Rather, it was a piece of advice given to them by their neighbors. For the sake of your family, leave the lights on at night. It wasn't long after receiving that fateful piece of advice.
Would have dipped right there. Not to be stereotypical, I'm not a stereotype type of person, but black people don't play. We be gone. I would have been up out of there. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, the neighbors, hey, forsake your family. Leave your lights on at night. Nah, we just gonna dip. How about that? Nah, we gotta leave the lights on. That we gotta pay high bills to stay here too. Nah, we got ghosts, high bills, nosy neighbors. It's not seeming like a good situation already. It should have been about.
Advice that the Perrins encountered their first paranormal entity. As with all hauntings and long-term paranormal experiences, the terrifying events of the real-life conjuring began as strange occurrences that barely registered as paranormal activity. Things moved. There were weird noises. It was nothing out of the ordinary for an old house. According to Cynthia Perrin, there were a lot of small things happening that no one talked about until it was too late. Unfortunately, the serenity of a banal haunting wouldn't last for long. After moving into their dream home, the Perrins almost immediately realized that they were living with what they believed to have been an entire set of ghost roommates. At the onset of the haunting, the Perrin children felt that most of the entities that walked their halls were benevolent, if not benign.
Why are her eyes so creepy? The little girl in the red, like why are her eyes so? Maybe it's just an old picture. Maybe I'm just reaching, but nah, I'm probably not. And they was living with a whole team of ghosts, a gang of ghosts. That wasn't in the movie. It was one ghost. I remember the movie. I remember it.
The children even claimed that the initial entities occasionally acted as babysitters. Some nights, the ghosts would even tuck them in and kiss their foreheads. Both Cynthia and Andrea Perrin remember the ghost who tucked them in. They even remember the way she smelled. According to Cynthia, when they first moved into the house, for the first 2 months, there was a ghost woman that came and kissed her every night on the forehead. At first, she thought it was her mother. But something was off. As her sister Andrea put it, Mom smelled like ivory soap, and this spirit smelled like flowers and fruit. After learning to live with their friendly ghosts, the Perrin family made a go of it on their new farm. However, it didn't take long for more malevolent forces to begin creeping into their little slice of a somewhat spooky heaven. The Perrin girls claim that they were attacked in the barn by unseen entities, and that on one evening, a series of voices began to speak to them about the bodies in their walls. Andrea claims that her sister Cindy climbed into bed with her one night to tell her about the harrowing news a disembodied voice had delivered. According to Cindy,
Oh no.
the ghost told her there are 7 dead soldiers
Oh,
buried
no.
in the wall. While the girls were dealing with something reaching out to them from beyond the grave, a different series of events began that foreshadowed the terror to come. They claim that at 5:15 in the morning, the smell of rotting flesh would waft through the house, tossing everyone out of bed one by one. Andrea claims that around this time, that the girls were visited by a male ghost that tortured them so badly that she refuses to give any concrete details. Let's just say there was a very bad male
Hell
spirit in the home with 5 little girls. Given the implication, you'd think the family would pack up and leave at that very moment, even if they didn't have anywhere else to go. But astonishingly, they decided to stick it out.
Where was CPS? Like, I'm not saying they can do nothing for real, but somebody, a grandparent, an uncle, one of them nosy neighbors, somebody should have stepped in like, hey, do y'all just not care about the livelihood of y'all kids? Because y'all just sitting here and letting this kind of happen. Like y'all could be about, and y'all just, y'all still here with the things. Like, y'all want them to get y'all kids? Somebody. What a spirit threatening family. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that this is some stuff that black people wouldn't do. It's not black people stuff. It's not.
While the entire Perrin family had paranormal encounters
It's not
throughout their
normal.
time living in the house, Carolyn
Most
Perrin,
people wouldn't
the
just stay
matriarch
there.
of the family, seems to have been the most sensitive to the spirits inhabiting the home. In an interview with the Providence Journal, she claimed that she knew something was wrong when a woman in gray appeared next to her bed moaning, "Get out, get out. I'll drive you out with death and gloom." That's a not too subtle hint. Maybe they should take it. I would. The woman in the gray dress could have been the ghost of a woman named Bathsheba Thayer, who is the witch believed to have done most of the haunting in this case. That being said, she could have also been a poltergeist created as a portent of things to come, or one of the many ghosts who dwelled within the home. Ghostbusters notwithstanding, this isn't exactly a science. Andrea Perrin, the eldest daughter, later said, whoever the spirit was, she perceived herself to be mistress of the house, and she resented the competition my mother posed for that position. Again, you'd think the whole death and gloom thing would send the family running, but like a good horror film, the answer would be no. The Perrins allege that Bathsheba Thayer's attacks began as harmless poltergeist activity. They were pinched, poked, and prodded by a seemingly invisible force. But then, things escalated. The Perrins believed Thayer wanted them to leave. Pretty obvious. Remember the get out thing? They also think Thayer tried to get what she wanted by torturing Carolyn. When physically assaulting Carolyn didn't work, the parents claimed that Thayer inhabited Carolyn's body to better horrify them. That sounds like an effective strategy. Possessing Carolyn gave Thayer the power to cause the mother and her family intense bodily harm, and it left Carolyn feeling weak and emotionally drained. One of the strangest parts of this story is the gray witch that haunted the family, or the broom ghost that was known to sweep up the kitchen whenever no one was around. It's how the story came to the attention of Ed and Lorraine Warren, the paranormal investigators who helped turn the Amityville haunting into a household name. Most accounts of the subject claim that the family reached out to the Warrens. But according to Andrea Perrin, a family friend went to see the Warrens while they were giving a talk in Putnam, Connecticut.
Somebody
Cynthia Perrin backs up this claim, saying in an interview that a family friend named Barbara went to the Warrens' lecture and then told the family about the couple.
Somebody cared. They didn't want the kids just sitting there going through that.
The Perrins got in touch with Ed and Lorraine Warren. The couple came to investigate, and Lorraine Warren claimed that she sensed a dark presence in the house from moment one. According to the parents, the Warrens cleansed the home and conducted a seance with Carolyn in the family's basement. Unfortunately, the seance did not go as planned and made things much worse. The Warrens visited the parent family intermittently over the course of the next decade, but they were never able to fix anything. Lorraine never publicly discussed what happened during the seance, but she does claim what happened in the basement disturbed her to the core. Andrea Perrin corroborates Lorraine's story. She claims that she snuck into the basement to see the seance firsthand and was never able to look at her mother the same way again. According to Andrea, her mother began to speak a language not of this world in a voice not of her own. Her chair levitated, and she was thrown across the room. So, 8-year-old spoiler alert, if you saw the Conjuring movie, then you probably remember a series of escalating...
I feel like the fact that they are putting clips of the movie in makes it seem like he's just doing a movie review when he's not. He's talking about things that really happened, like the chair really levitated. They mom really spoke in a voice that wasn't hers and was talking in a language that she didn't know how to actually speak in. Like, this is taken away from the realness with them throwing like the Hollywood images in there.
games of hide and clap, where one person is blindfolded while the rest of the girls playing run off to hide. In these scenes, the mother is consistently taunted by a pair of ghostly clapping hands belonging to Bathsheba Thayer. The hide and clap scenes are super spooky, but it turns out that the real story is much more harrowing. Cynthia Parent claims that one day while the girls were playing hide and seek on the farm, she hid in a pine box without any kind of lock, latch, or ventilation. After no one came to find her, Cynthia decided to find a new hiding place. She later told an interviewer that when she tried to get out, the box wouldn't open. She started to panic and began pushing at the lid. She kicked and screamed, but no one heard her. Luckily, 20 minutes later, her sister Nancy came along and simply opened the box for her. Paranormal or crappy old box? We'll let you decide. According to the Parent family, they're still being haunted by Bathsheba Thayer. During the filming of The Conjuring, the entire family was invited to the set. Initially, they were all going to go, but at the last minute, Carolyn got cold feet and changed her mind. She claimed that she didn't want to make the trip, but it's also not hard to imagine there was some trepidation on her part to dig up the past. Andrea Parent claims that while the family was being interviewed, a rogue wind swept them over, knocking down cameras, lights, and anything that surrounded them. Meteorology notwithstanding, they all agreed it was Bathsheba's curse. When they returned to their hotels that evening, the kids learned their mother had fallen and
everybody's
broken
gonna
her
be
hip
lying together.
hip
You feel
the
me?
exact time that the eerie wind swept over them. When the family made it to their mother's hospital room, they claimed that she sat up and said, "Bathsheba's curse. She does not want to be exposed." According to Andrea Perrin, everyone who has lived in the house that we know of has experienced the haunting. Some have left screaming and running for their lives. She claims the man they sold it to started a restoration project, but left screaming without his car, without his tools, and without his clothing. However, according to the current owner, Norma Sutcliffe, the house isn't as haunted as you might have heard. Sutcliffe only claims to have seen and heard people talking in other rooms, footsteps when no one is home, and a strange blue light shooting around a room. Yeah, Norma, that's still not normal. Get out. After The Conjuring was released, Sutcliffe became so unhappy with all the attention surrounding her home, she attempted to disprove the Perrin family story. The demonic antagonist of The Conjuring is a witch named Bathsheba Thayer, born Bathsheba Sherman. The Perrin family claims the spirit of this woman haunted them for nearly a decade, possessed their mother, and even followed them onto the set of a film. But was Thayer really a witch? Or is she just the victim of bad press? The film posits that Thayer sacrificed her baby to Satan before hanging herself in order to become a malevolent spirit within the Rhode Island farmhouse. However, it turns out that Bathsheba was just a normal woman who was married and had 4 children. 3 of them did die at a young age, but this was the 19th century, so it wasn't that unusual. In 1885, Bathsheba passed away from a stroke and was buried next to her first husband and 3 children. Finally, one of the biggest questions most people have about the haunting of the Perrin family is, why would you just not leave? I have that question. It's a reasonable...
Shout out to this channel. Link to the actual video is in the description. And go get him some love because he's actually going to answer the question that I've been asking this whole time. Because why didn't these niggas just leave? They ain't have to go through half the stuff they went through. They said that it was nice spirits before the. So y'all just felt comfortable because the spirits was nice? No. I don't care if I wake up in the middle of the night and the spirit that made a whole little midnight snack for me. Got the, you feel me? Got the nice little joint roll, you feel me? Like, no. I don't care how nice you are. Unless you're trying to go half on the rent and bills, I'm about. You can have it. It's all you. You got it, G. I'm straight. I don't care how nice you are as a spirit. No, it's not okay. It's not normal. It's not. I can't just stay here and let this happen. No, especially with kids. 5 girls. No. We gone. Let's hear the answer.
Question. According to them, the answer is money. It simply wasn't financially possible for the family to leave. The haunting was happening during the end of the Nixon administration, all the way through the Carter administration. The economy was terrible, and no matter how good your friends are, no one has a room to house 5 teenage girls and their mother and father. Aside from that, Andrea Perrin notes that the property value on their 200-acre farm was devaluing by the day, and the family would have been destitute if they had just walked away. In 1980, the Perrin family was finally able to sell the house, and as soon as the paperwork was signed, they made a beeline for Georgia and never looked back. As to whether this is a convincing reason to stay in a house with ghosts that take control of your body and abuse your daughters, well,
Nope.
like with every other aspect of this story, you'll just have to decide what you believe for yourself.
Nope.
So what do you think? Do you
We would have
believe in
just been a
hauntings?
little homeless
Let us know in the
family. I'm
comments
not gonna
below.
lie.
While
We
you're
would have
at
had to
it,
stay
check
with
out
some
of these
people. We
other
would have been
videos
couch
from
to
our
couch.
Weird history.
Y'all go check them out. Subscribe to my channel. I might have to come back for that one. Subscribe to my channel. That was a good one. See you in the next video. Show me some love. Love y'all, man. Have a good one.